and I'm going to do it right now.
She's frozen mid-pose in a shimmering gold gown, fireworks exploding behind her like a battlefield of light. The stadium roars her name, Beyonce, the untouchable queen of perfection, ruling the Super Bowl stage with a level of control so sharp it almost doesn't feel human. That image, flawless, divine, and impossible to match, has been burned into the world's collective memory forever. But now, Jason Lee says that picture-perfect illusion might be about to shatter wide open. While the world worships her every move, he's whispering about something the Carter camp has allegedly guarded like a top-secret government mission. And this story, it doesn't start with Ivy Park or a Billboard hit. No way. It begins with two children whose names are barely ever spoken out loud.
So much on how you got where you are. How you stepped on many people.
Faces hidden from cameras like classified files, Rumi and Sir. Especially Sir. For years, fans have filled DMs, deep Reddit threads, and private stan chats, asking the same haunting question. Why is Sir practically invisible, while Rumi appears on stages, in campaigns, even slipping into song credits? One Parkwood insider, speaking off the record, claims Beyoncé's team runs a full-blown visibility operation for Sir, timing social media drops, setting paparazzi traps, and controlling appearances like chess moves on a glowing board. No, she don't know. Beyoncé doesn't know. They won't tell her everything. Her dad knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts, the source allegedly insisted. And then comes the real bombshell.
Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce, and they're not going to share that with her.
Yvette knows. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts.
Jason Lee claims he's seen sealed medical documents, files locked under brutal NDAs, that supposedly reveal why Sir's life has been kept under wraps. Papers that, if genuine, hint that Sir might be living with a condition the public has never been told about. And that's where quiet whispers explode into full-blown scandal. Word inside LA's elite wellness circles paints a dark picture. Rumors of invisible clinics, secret high-end facilities built for the rich and powerful. These aren't regular therapy centers. They're ultra-exclusive, invite-only sanctuaries hidden behind luxury walls, where privacy is currency and secrets are guarded tighter than Fort Knox. Something big is brewing behind those closed doors.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
And it's making even Hollywood's elite nervous. We're talking hidden treatment suites with on-call specialists, therapists locked under ironclad NDAs, and security so airtight it makes the Grammy Green Room look like an amateur open mic night. These aren't clinics, they're fortresses for secrets. And here's the kicker. Guess who's been reportedly spotted managing high-clearance visits in and out of one specific Bel Air location? None other than someone straight out of Beyoncé's inner circle, her former assistant, the very same person who was allegedly tasked with handling weekly obligations for the twins. That little nugget didn't just appear out of thin air. It came from a leaked itinerary Jason Lee swears he screenshotted back in 2022. I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you, not right now. I'm not playing this industry game, Jason said, doubling down on his claims.
I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
Now here's where the whole thing tilts into dangerous territory. Is this just a fiercely protective mother shielding her child from the madness of fame? Or are we watching a power couple so obsessed with controlling their image, they'd go as far as rewriting their own reality just to keep their throne looking spotless? Jason Lee, though, isn't blinking. He's pushing even harder, flashing blurred corners of envelopes, cropped timestamps, and what he insists are fragments of authentic medical documents. These files, they're allegedly tied to pediatric neurologists in Brentwood, sensory experts, even behavioral analysts, all funneled through layers of middlemen with direct connections to Roc Nation's legal powerhouse. A machine designed to crush scandals before they ever see daylight. If Jason is lying, then he's pulled off a masterclass hoax. But if he's telling the truth, the fallout would make that infamous elevator fight video look like a casual Sunday brunch story. And here's the twist. multiple whispers, including 3 separate insiders, all line up with the same bombshell claim.
You to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up.
Beyoncé's camp has been quietly testing the waters for a possible sympathy narrative. Not a public confession, not a bold press release, but subtle signals dropped like breadcrumbs. Something's brewing, and it's way bigger than just family privacy. They're setting the stage for something big, something emotional. A softer, human reveal about how even the biggest superstars face real family challenges. One veteran publicist, who's been working Hollywood's spin machine for decades, called it reputation insurance. Basically a backup parachute in case Jason Lee's alleged files ever go nuclear. And the timing? That's what's making everyone's eyebrows shoot up. Because suddenly there's a brand new venture on the horizon, Syra Davis. Now, insiders say Syra Davis isn't just some innocent, fresh brand. It's a strategic Trojan horse. A slow, carefully planned rollout designed to slip Sir's name back into the public's consciousness without actually throwing the doors open. It's subtle, it's clever, and it's a little chilling. And if that sounds too cold-blooded to be true, just check the marketing taglines. The Davis in my bones. Seriously? The branding feels loaded, almost poetic in a way that hints at something deeper. So, while the public toasts to the sparkle of the flawless Carter dynasty, Jason Lee is out here loading what he calls certified receipts. He hasn't dropped full scans yet, but his whole vibe has shifted. No more cryptic hints, no more mysterious posts. Now he's talking like a man who's got hard proof, not rumors. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's camp isn't taking any chances. Sources claim her team is already circling the wagons, quietly reaching out to trusted media insiders, the kind who know how to steer a story before it blows up. Several journalists have reportedly been told to keep their eyes peeled for any articles linking Sir to health speculation. Yes, that exact phrase came from an email sent by a well-known Carter PR fixer. And we've seen it, allegedly. They know something's brewing, and they're moving fast. But wait, here's where the story thickens, because every tale has 2 sides. And in this one, there are 2 siblings. The world knows one side well, Rumi, the twin we've been allowed to see.
We get to the bottom of Tupac's when that is finally revealed, 15 other will be revealed with it. And you will find that they were all committed by the same 2 people, father and son.
She's been front and center at the Super Bowl, glowing in Ivy Park photo shoots, embodying that soft focus perfection that screams Carter legacy. She even made her musical debut on Cowboy Carter, a moment fans called her picture-perfect prodigy moment, carrying her mom's magnetism and Blue Ivy's unstoppable drive. Yet behind that spotless image, insiders whisper about growing pressure that's been bubbling for years. Rumi is reportedly being shaped, molded even, into the next-gen Carter performer, carrying not just fame, but the heavy, unspoken label of being the easier twin. And that phrase didn't come from random internet chatter. It came from a family friend, overheard at a high-end industry event. The way the twins are being managed, shaped, and separated is becoming a conversation. Even some in Beyoncé's inner circle can't ignore. Something's definitely shifting in the Carter empire, and it's got Hollywood's rumor mill spinning faster than ever. Houston, Rumi's the easier one to work with. That's the line that's been floating around in quiet conversations. But easier for what exactly? Because when you really study those red carpet smiles, those perfectly choreographed backstage moments, even that picture-perfect Super Bowl shot with Jay-Z and Grandma Tina, it starts to feel staged down to the millisecond. Look closer, really close, and the pattern jumps out like a blinding spotlight. Sir is never fully there. Either he's missing completely, or he's placed just far enough out of frame to spark questions that never quite die down. In older event footage, you can even catch security subtly motioning photographers to shift positions, blocking shots right as Sir comes into view. That's not coincidence, that's orchestration. Tina Knowles has tried to play it off with her signature grandma warmth, saying he's just quiet, into books and electronics. But fans aren't buying that anymore. Not when Jay-Z's few unguarded comments and interviews only fan the flames instead of cooling them. And Beyonce? She's stayed completely silent about Sir's development, which feels even more noticeable since she's previously spoken openly about her own emotional struggles and growth. The silence around Sir now feels deafening. And here's the real bombshell. Jason Lee says one of the leaked files isn't just some vague note. It's reportedly a behavioral and cognitive summary, prepared for insurance purposes. The document allegedly details specific accommodations requested for Sir in educational settings, meaning that if this paper is legit, the Carters haven't just known. They've been quietly managing his needs for years, far from the public eye. It's a revelation that could flip the narrative completely, turning what looked like mystery into something far more human and far more complex. There's nothing wrong with protecting your child. Every parent should. But what's making eyebrows shoot sky high is the intense secrecy, the way everything is polished to appear picture perfect. In today's world, where celebrities cash in on authenticity, selling every tear, every triumph, every so-called real moment, when does a carefully edited truth stop being protection and start looking like a calculated lie? And here's the deeper question. What does this mean for how the world views autism inside celebrity culture? Because if the most powerful couple in entertainment really did go this far to guard or disguise their son's reality, what message does that send to families everywhere trying to make neurodiversity feel normal and accepted? Does silence equal strength? Or does it teach that differences should still be hidden? One Hollywood strategist we spoke to didn't sugarcoat it, calling the situation a ticking PR flashpoint, a reckoning just waiting to explode. Because if those alleged files ever see the light of day, and the Carters keep their lips sealed, it won't read like privacy anymore. It'll read like shame. And in 2025, shame is a brand killer. You don't lose millions for what you do. You lose millions for what you hide. Even Kanye, in his wild and unpredictable way, seemed to smell that weakness. Remember that now-deleted tirade? The one where he name-dropped the twins? That wasn't random. That was surgical. He could have gone after Beyonce's music, Jay-Z's NFL ties, or even Ivy Park's fading hype. But no, he went straight for Sir and Rumi's mental capacity, because he knew that was where the armor cracked. He didn't strike the fame, he struck the family. The one place nobody dares to go, the Carters' most private vault. And now, that secret vault isn't exploding with tabloid headlines. It's cracking open slowly, under quiet but relentless pressure, whisper by whisper, screenshot by screenshot. And one voice leading the charge louder than the rest. Jason Lee, the ex-Hollywood Unlocked boss, swears he's just getting started, and his boldest claim yet? That the leaked documents don't just reference autism. They allegedly map out the entire timeline of when it was first discovered. According to Jason, the Carters have known since the twins were toddlers, and from that moment, every public move, every appearance, every staged photo has been carefully crafted around that truth. Sources allege the documents go even deeper, referencing controlled social settings, adaptive communication plans, and specialized schooling arrangements made under assumed names to keep everything airtight. Yeah, you heard that right. Aliases. One education consultant from LA's elite prep school circuit claims Sir may actually be enrolled under a false identity just to stay invisible to the media. Sounds outrageous, sure, but remember, this is the same family that trademarked all 3 of their kids' names before they could even walk. Nothing about this level of control should shock anyone anymore. And here's the real kicker. If Jason Lee ever decides to drop those files in full, the shockwave won't just hit the Carters, it'll shake the entire image-driven culture they helped create. This wouldn't just be about Sir's privacy. It would be about power, control, and an empire built on the illusion of transparency. For years, we've seen Blue Ivy winning Grammys, Beyonce giving heartfelt mom interviews, Jay-Z talking about legacy and generational wealth. But behind all that sparkle, were we just watching a perfectly scripted performance? The world bought into the dream, the Carters as America's royal household. But what if the crown jewels of that fantasy, the twins themselves, have been ghost-written this entire time? What if one of those ghosts isn't a co-writer at all, but a diagnosis? The very thing Beyoncé's team has allegedly spent millions to keep locked in vaults of secrecy. Just imagine the lengths: contracts, lawyers, shadow PR campaigns, all built to bury one truth no one dares to say out loud. And yet, as shocking as the leaked summaries and whispers sound, the loudest silence in this entire saga doesn't come from Beyoncé or Jay-Z themselves. It comes from everyone around them. Because while Jason Lee keeps dropping breadcrumbs and fans scramble to connect the dots, there's a darker current running beneath the surface, something insiders call industry silence. It's not written down, not signed, but everyone knows it's there. A quiet, unspoken code among A-listers, executives, influencers, and so-called friends who've shared the same yacht decks, toasted at the same pre-Grammy brunches, and lounged at the same ultra-private parties hosted by the Carters. These are people who've seen things they will never admit in public. And we've traced some of those names. Stylists with DNA-level access to the twins' wardrobes, publicists handpicking who gets a front-row seat to carefully curated family moments. These aren't random outsiders peeking through blinds. These are insiders. People who've literally watched Rumi blossom in plain sight, while Sir is quietly steered away, step by step, from the spotlight. Ushered off camera like a state secret, and yet not one person in Hollywood has dared to go public about it. Not a single celebrity, not one influencer, not even a bold interviewer has spoken up about the glaring discrepancy. Not when pressed on red carpets, not off the record, and not even when Ye himself dragged the twins into his infamous social media spiral and crossed a line almost nobody else would touch. And that silence? It might be the biggest clue of all. Because Ye doesn't move randomly. His chaos always has patterns. Those disturbing posts aimed at Sir and Rumi weren't just wild rants, according to two former associates we spoke to. They were warnings. Strategic chaos designed to rattle the silence and push at the one vault nobody dares to open. His now infamous post questioning the twins' mental capacity may have been deleted within minutes, but the damage was already done. It sparked a wildfire in insider DMs and whispers across the industry. Veterans started saying Ye didn't just shoot in the dark. He signaled because he knew something fragile was real. So why the silence? Fear, plain and simple. The Carters aren't just entertainers, they're a living institution. A power couple whose reach stretches from Silicon Valley boardrooms to White House guest lists. Their influence runs so deep that one whisper from their camp can freeze a career in its tracks overnight. Beyoncé's control over her empire is legendary. Her collaborators don't just sign contracts, they sign lifelong vows of silence, NDAs thicker than Hollywood scripts. One insider told us a backup dancer was disciplined for casually mentioning the twins' names in a private group chat. Another former assistant swears they were dismissed after asking why Sir didn't show up for a family photo shoot. The message couldn't be clearer. Speed, silence, obedience. Every move, every leak, every whisper is monitored like a national security threat. And yet, here we are, Jason Lee cracking the vault one screenshot at a time, daring to pull the thread everyone else is too scared to touch. So what happens if the whole truth finally bursts into the open? That's the question keeping Hollywood up at night. Make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe, because this story is far from over, and you do not want to miss what comes next. See you in the next one.